Today's destination requires no introduction, but I'm gonna do it anyway. We're going to see hot springs, geysers, all kinds of geothermal activity, not to mention wildlife and waterfalls in Yellowstone. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV.
Well, good morning. Everything is wet, and today the weather seems to be even worse than yesterday. It's just that rain, that sprinkle that doesn't stop. But I mean, we're here. We're gonna go into Yellowstone and enjoy as much as possible. I was looking at the map, and apparently south of these mountains it's a little better. You'll find out as soon as we do.
Sometimes the weather cooperates, sometimes it doesn't. So we're gonna make the best of it.
Well, here we are. Mammoth Hot Springs. Let's check it out. There we go. We're gonna do this one first.
This is one of those places that doesn't really look like Earth. Some of it almost looks man-made, like a modern art sculpture of some kind. Some people call it an inside-out cave. I mean, it even has stalactites of sorts. Here we have some wildlife. An elk. There's usually a lot more of them, but I'll take it. Maybe the rain is keeping them away. Let's go to the upper levels. And our friendly elk is still there.
One of the advantages of having crummy weather is that there's hardly anybody here.
This one is called Minerva Terrace. All these formations created by the spring water heated by the volcano underground. Scientists, however, don't really know exactly where the heat comes from since we are technically outside the caldera.
No bummer.
I guess this is as far as we can go. Let's go this way a little more. Such a strange, otherworldly, dare I say, lunar landscape here. There's historic Fort Yellowstone and the town of Mammoth, Wyoming. This is it for Mammoth Spring. The main road system in Yellowstone kind of looks like a number 8, and we're going to go south on the west side, which is US 89, or Grand Loop Road. Here's access to the upper terrace of the spring, but the road is closed, so we're gonna continue. Check out that waterfall. I believe that's Glen Creek. And it is raining again. Yellowstone, by the way, is a huge park, and many times there's a long drive between attractions. Here we are at the Roaring Mountain, with all these steam vents called fumaroles. It isn't really making any noise, so not really roaring, as the name would suggest. And here's our first look at Norris Geyser Basin. Where are we going next? It is one of the hottest and most acidic, according to what I read. Apparently, when steamboat goes, the acidic water comes all the way here. Must be a sight to see.
So we are here. Oh, let's explore Norris Geyser Basin.
There are two areas, Porcelain Basin and Back Basin. Let's do Porcelain first.
It could be erupting down there.
Whoa, that's a lot of geothermal activity.
Wow.
We have a tiny little geyser. That's a roaring geyser.
That one is roaring.
Ledge geyser, I believe. The hot spring down there, which is basically the same as a fumarole, except that it is not hot enough for the water to boil.
The pressure cooker is hot.
Here's another hot spring. It is actually quite surreal to be here. Video doesn't really do it justice.
Well, I don't know if it is still raining or it's mist from that geyser over there, but Emerald Spring.
We are now on the other side of the basin.
I'm kind of sad that it is not a sunny day, but because on a sunny day, I'm sure those colors would stand out a lot more. But it is what it is. You can't control the weather.
Let's go see Steamboat Geyser.
They said a quarter mile, but it feels a little longer than that. That must be it.
Here we have a bunch of people camped out in the rain, waiting for the slim chance that Steamboat might erupt sometime. Which is, I'm sorry to say, unlikely. This one is not as predictable as Old Faithful. But when it does erupt, it is the tallest geyser in the world. Water shoots up 300 feet high, and it is supposed to be an unforgettable experience. It doesn't happen very often though, less than once a month. We wait, and wait, mesmerized, hoping for the odd chance that Steamboat may decide to erupt.
But the last time it erupted was May 7th, almost a month ago. What are the chances, right? Probably very slim. But we'll wait another minute, just in case.
Of course, that major eruption never happened. Just a few little ones like this. Let's go see one of the geysers you're almost guaranteed to see erupt. Old Faithful. I believe there might be wildlife here.
It's called Gibbon Meadows. There we have another spring.
Here we have a small spring and a fumarole. At this point, most of the parking lots are like madhouses, so we're not gonna be able to see everything. Well, let me rephrase. All parking lots except for one Here we have more wildlife, I see. We've got bison. There are bison everywhere. Here we're going to take Firehole Canyon Road, which is a scenic road, one way, and we're supposed to be able to see some waterfalls. Parking along this road is going to be complicated. Let's see if we can get a nice view of the falls.
Firehole Falls.
I just noticed a long line of cars behind me, so let's continue. And we're back on the main road. There's a line of cars going into Grand Prismatic, so I don't think that's gonna happen today. And that's the main issue with most national parks. Parking. Parking seems to be insufficient at most attractions, except where we're going next. It is a Disney World-sized parking lot, as they all should be.
Well, we made it to Old Faithful. Now let's go find the visitor center for the Geyser predictions, and then we're gonna go to the lodge. Well, there it is. Good Old Faithful. Well, apparently it's gonna be over an hour until the next eruption, so let's stop by the visitor center real quick.
It is very nice actually, and they have screens with the Geyser predictions.
Okay, Old Faithful is gonna erupt at 2:19, plus or minus 10 minutes, and then Grand Geyser, it's going to be at 2:30, but that one's plus or minus 60 minutes. So if we get lucky, we might be able to see both. But right now, we're hungry. We're hungrier than lucky, so let's go find something to eat. Oh, the geysers right there.
What better place to eat than the famous Old Faithful Inn, designed by 29-year-old Robert Reamer and built in the winter of 1903 to 1904. Its iconic design served as inspiration for Disney's Wilderness Lodge. The food's good, but the service very slow. In fact, we're almost going to miss the eruption.
Well, we decided to have the buffet, and for $21 actually was a very good buffet. Good quality food. Service, slow and inefficient. And of course we had an IPA, and Illy had some wine at the bar next door. We might come back to the terrace, we'll see. But now, we're going to see Old Faithful.
We're a little late, so there's a large crowd waiting.
Teasing us. And that's probably the best spot, right up there. It's about to go off.
Let us know.
We decided to move away from the crowd. I mean, the view from here is almost the same. And take a look at that crowd.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, false alarm. Oh, no, there we go.
Yep. Warm up. Yeah, nice.
Yep.
So faithful. You are so faithful.
Let's explore the upper Geyser Basin. There is a network of boardwalks from where you can see all kinds of geothermal activity. Check out that hot spring. And Castle Geyser looks like it wants to do something, but that's all it's doing, teasing us. It looks like Grand Geyser went off while we were at Old Faithful, because there's hardly anybody there now. But there's plenty happening around, so we won't be disappointed. Of course, we have 2 bison chilling on the prairie, because that's what they do. Grand Geyser seems to be doing something, but I'm sure that's not the full eruption. Hello? What a unique place this is. Tell you what, I'm just gonna let the images speak for themselves. Here we have a lone bison in front of the Old Faithful Inn. What a classic vista. I believe we're about to experience yet another Old Faithful eruption, this time from the back. It is a totally different experience, as there are only a few of us gathered at this vantage point.
Next time we're going all the way up there.
It's gone, and so are we. We're going to go back to Gardiner, and tomorrow we'll continue exploring Yellowstone, including some of the stuff we couldn't do today because of the crowds. We're gonna try to come early and beat the hordes of tourists. Now we get sunshine and blue skies. Well, hopefully we'll get some tomorrow too. Well, that didn't last. Here's the pullout for the waterfall. We'll check it out tomorrow. This is actually one of the prettiest parts of the drive.
morning. It is a brand new day. It is cloudy, but at least it is not raining, so we're going back to Yellowstone and see what we missed. It's 7 a.m., so hopefully we'll beat the crowds.
Contrary to popular belief, as of summer 2023, there is no reservation or timed entry requirement for Yellowstone. But it is always a good practice to get here early, because as you saw yesterday, the crowds can be pretty big. Tempted. Very tempted to stop at Mammoth Spring once again since we have slightly better weather today, but I think we should concentrate on the stuff we haven't seen yet. There's that waterfall again. We'll try to stop on the way back. Wildlife. We've got geese, Canada geese. I think I see some wildlife. I think I see some more wildlife. It's an elk. Here we have another lone bison, pacing back and forth, and our friendly elk grazing on the prairie. Gibbon Falls. This one is one of the places that we couldn't see yesterday because of the crowds. Well, there's hardly anyone here this early.
Well, here we are, about an hour in, and our first stop today is going to be Gibbon Falls here. Yesterday we couldn't stop. This parking lot was completely full. But yeah, early bird gets to see more things. The beginning of the fall.
And that would be the Gibbon River down there. That's a roaring waterfall.
Alright, checked this one off. Beautiful waterfall there. And do you see what I'm seeing behind me? Blue skies. I think the weather is improving.
In some parts of the park, it feels like every body of water will have some steam emanating from it. Well, check out all this bison here. There's bison everywhere. Here we are, Midway Geyser Basin. home to Grand Prismatic Spring.
Well, here we are. Let's check out Grand Prismatic.
This is perhaps the most beautiful spring here, although there is a lot of steam today, maybe because the weather is a little cold. This, aside from Old Faithful, is perhaps one of the most popular attractions here in Yellowstone.
It is very misty today, more than I remembered. Hopefully we'll get to see something.
This one on the left, can't really see it, but it is the Excelsior Geyser crater, a dormant geyser which became a hot spring. It is supposed to have this super bright blue color, but with all this steam, it is not really visible. There, you can kind of see it. I am a little bummed out that we can't experience it in all its glory, but we'll take it. Now onto Grand Prismatic, which is also, I'm sorry to say, engulfed in the fog. Grand Prismatic is the largest hot spring in the United States and the third largest in the world. The colors are supposed to match those of the rainbow, although today, as I said, we can't really see the entire gamut. The contrast between the orange and the blue is supposed to be quite striking when there isn't so much mist coming out of the spring. There, you can kind of see it, and even if the conditions aren't optimal, it is still an incredible place. Are those bison tracks? I think they are. I was thinking of doing the Firehole Trail, which has a great Grand Prismatic overlook on that hill actually. But I'm thinking today it might not be worth it, since most of the spring is obscured by all the steam coming out of it. This would be the Turquoise Pool.
Well, that was Grand Prismatic. Of course, today is kind of a little too misty, maybe because it is a little chilly still in the morning. So we didn't get the full effect, we didn't get to see that deep blue turquoise water. There was so much mist. So, I was gonna do that hike to the overlook. I'm probably not gonna do it. Let's continue towards the lake. On the other hand, it's a beautiful day. It's sunny here. Look at that. On and off, but much better than yesterday for sure. Let's go to the lake.
By the way, we are now rounding the bottom of that figure eight that is the main road in Yellowstone. Up until now, we've only explored the west side of the park. Now we're going to the east. Next point of interest is West Thumb, but first let's stop by the visitor center. Here we have some great views of the West Thumb of Yellowstone Lake. This is the largest high elevation lake in North America, above 7,000 feet, and it freezes over completely every winter.
That's nice.
The West Thumb Geyser Basin also has all these boardwalks from where you can see all the hot springs and take a stroll along the lakeshore. You least expected wildlife. Here we have an elk. I don't think I've ever seen one so close. The different colors, by the way, are determined by the bacteria and algae at different temperatures. Pretty cool.
Yeah, very leisurely walk here in front of Yellowstone Lake.
All right, let's go back up. Let's drive around the lake a little bit. Not all the way, but we'll go to at least Fishing Bridge, which is where they have like a full hookups RV park and all that. And maybe as far as Lake Butte, from where you can actually see the Tetons on a clear day. Let's see if we can have lunch at the Lake Lodge.
Right, let's check out the Lake Lodge.
Well, the Lake Lodge is closed, so change of plans. We're only gonna go as far as Fishing Bridge, and then we'll have lunch at the Canyon Village. Well, this is Fishing Bridge. This is where the Yellowstone River meets Yellowstone Lake. And this is one of the villages in the park with the most services. There is a huge RV park. Here, the road follows more or less the course of the Yellowstone River, all the way to the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. And here we are, arriving at the Canyon Village. Here's the lodge, but there seems to be no food here. In fact, the only place open at this time is the Fountain and Grill.
But it's Billy the Bison. Well, we ended up eating at the Fountain and Grill. It's a sort of fountain place, burgers, you know, regular fare. And now we're gonna explore the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, and we have some coffee to help us throughout the rest of the day. This is the last thing we're gonna do here.
There are two other restaurants here, but they don't open until 5 p.m. First, we're going to Artist Point. One of the most, if not the most, iconic canyon overlook here.
And we are here. Yes.
Get out of town.
We have Upper Falls, Lower Falls. This is the one that has that trail with all the switchbacks. So we're gonna do this first, and then we might do this, and then we're going to the North Rim.
Here we are, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. And here we get our first glimpse at the waterfalls. This is that iconic view of Lower Falls, erroneously believed to be the point from where painter Thomas Moran sketched his famous 1872 depiction of the falls. It was later determined that he did it from the North Rim, but by then they had already named this place Artist Point, so I guess the name stuck.
This is a spot where you get that perfect view of the waterfalls and the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. Let me show you the view of the Grand Canyon to the other side. After seeing this, I think we can live Yellowstone National Park. But we might do a couple of more, vista points around here.
Let's go see Upper Falls.
Now that we saw arguably the best vista point in the whole Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, let's go see some of the other vista points here, the ones that we didn't see in 2019. By the way, if you haven't watched that video, check it out. There'll be a link somewhere. And it looks like there is a line to get the best view there at the viewpoint. A bunch of people. But I believe this is the upper falls view. The ones that we just saw were the lower falls. And this, I believe, was closed when I came in 2019. So let's check them out.
Let's see if we can get all the way down there to the brink of the falls.
This is another vantage point from where you can see the waterfall, and the only reason there's no one here is because it is wet. Luckily, I brought my waterproof shoes. Let's see if there's another view of the falls from somewhere around here. Now let's go to the brink of the falls, which is that other viewpoint we saw way down there, right next to the waterfalls. And then that's it. We're going back to the campground. And this is it. This is our final viewpoint, the brink of the Upper Falls. Well, there's no one here, so the view is probably not the best, but let's check it out. And I think this will be a fitting end to our time here at Yellowstone National Park.
And it is raining again. This is that waterfall we keep seeing on the way into the park, so let's stop. Ooh, there's another vista point down there. We're back in Gardiner. Let's stop by the Rosevelt Arch.
Well, I just ran into Joe of Joe Ferry Chevrolet, you know, where we got the Starship, the Silverado. But I wanted to show you something here in Gardiner, and this is the Rosevelt Arch. And most people take the picture from this side, but it is much better from the other side, and I'll show you why. It has a very cool message written on it. And that is up there. You know, I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt who said it. For the benefit and enjoyment of the people. And that's the main purpose of the National Park Service. It's for our benefit and enjoyment. Created by an act of Congress March 1st, 1872. And this Yellowstone National Park, of course, was the first of the national parks.
Here's one final look at the town of Gardiner, Montana, and the roaring Yellowstone River from the vantage point of the RV park.
Good morning. Look who came to greet us at the campground. I have a huge elk. Look at that. He's bidding us farewell, I'm sure. I don't think these people need to invest in a landscaping service. This guy's taking care of that. Or this gal, actually. And now that we're leaving, look at the weather we're getting here. Well, between work and our friendly elk, time
time really got away from us this morning. I was gonna take a scenic route recommended by our friend Mikey Mikey and Barbie from Billings, but we're not gonna have time for that. We're driving straight to Helena, which is gonna be a very scenic ride in its own ride. Oh man, what's wrong with me this morning? Yeah, I'm afraid that for the next 2 days it's gonna be pretty much road trip eye candy, but of the good kind. Over the next few days, we're driving clear across the great state of Montana, all the way to the Canadian border, with a side trip to the eastern half of Geyser National Park. But that will be on the next episode. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road. I'm riding in my